Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Bree, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the 5 questions or the 5 things to ask yourself when you are trying to declutter. Now, I thought this video was important because we are stuck in the house, we're in quarantine. A lot of people are taking on projects that maybe they have pushed back for some time, or you kind of want to just cleanse yourself and declutter and get rid of things that aren't serving you. And these tips or these questions are going to kind of help you get in the mindset of what is really adding value, what is really the things that I want to keep, or what is important to me to keep. These are just to help you cleanse your space, cleanse your energy, and to kind of get you back to where you need to be. So I'm trying to use this quarantine as a way to be creative, be lighter, and kind of come into myself and really figure out what that is. So a big part of that is cleansing and, you know, continuing my minimalism journey. And so these are the things that I am constantly asking myself when I'm deciding to declutter, when I'm deciding to purge and get me on the right track. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy this week's video. Let's go ahead and get started. So question 1 that I always ask myself is, does this item add value? If you had watched my 10 tips for minimalism, you had seen that I had talked about adding value as a very, very important tip or a very important question to ask yourself. Now, this can be in a plethora of ways that something can add value to your life. Now, you know, if you're talking about, for an example, the kitchen, obviously something is not going to add value the same way in the kitchen as it would if it's a personal item or decor or something along those lines. So for me, if I'm cooking, obviously this spatula or this fork or this knife adds value to my life because it's helping me ultimately cook a meal. But if there's something on the wall or there's decor that I really, really, truly love and I think is beautiful, that's adding a different sort of value to my life. So just kind of deciding what kind of value it adds to your life, if any, is very, very important. So if you're going through something that you haven't quite seen in a while, you can look at it and say, does this item add value? And you can kind of put it in one of those categories that you make for yourself. And if it doesn't fit in any one of those, you can go ahead and get rid of it. It doesn't fit in any of those, it's time to let go. The second question I ask myself when decluttering is, do you already have an item or something else that does the same thing? Or is there something else in your home that has the same end result? So I wouldn't bring in a mixer of some sort for the home if I already have something that does the same thing. Now, if this is a really great mixer and you want to bring it into your home, then think about getting rid of that other mixer, that whisk, or whatever you have. I don't know why I'm using kitchen as a example, but you get what I'm saying. Then get rid of that other item. You don't need multiple of the same things to clutter your house. I think that was one of the biggest things that I struggled with. You know, my biggest thing is planners. I'll get to that. Planners are my weakness, but I would keep bringing in the same things, or notebooks that ultimately did the same thing, and I didn't need 85 of that item if I already had something that ultimately shared the same end result. Get what I'm saying? Hopefully. If not, let me know. So that was a big thing. Definitely see if you already have an item that does the exact same thing, or if it does, don't bring it in or get rid of it. You don't need multiple. Question 3, have you used it in the last 6 months? So when you guys are purging, you guys are getting rid of items, or you're going through things that you haven't gone through. If it's a garage, if it's a closet, if you haven't seen it in the last 6 months, if you haven't thought about it, if you haven't been looking for it, get rid of it. I promise you, you do not need it. You didn't need it for 6 months or a year or however long it's been stuck in that closet. Get rid of it. That's it. Trust me. Give it a better home, give it to somebody who will use it, donate it. There is plenty of places out there that would be glad to take your items off of your hands. If you don't use it, you haven't used it, haven't thought about it, get rid of it. Number 4, do I use this item to my full capability, or to its full capability. This is where I'm talking about my planners, the thing that I have the worst time with. I would hoard all these notebooks that I wouldn't ever use to this full capability. I wouldn't use it to the end page. I wouldn't, I would buy a planner, but I would use it for a little bit the beginning month that I got it, and I wouldn't keep up with it. I wouldn't commit to it, and I wouldn't constantly use it to its full capability. So for anything that you have in your home that you aren't using, one, till it's done, two, for all the special features it has, or whatever the case may be, get rid of it, give it to somebody who will, and or recycle, trash it, whatever the case may be. But obviously you're just hoarding it until you do a declutter or a purge and you realize, hey, I could have gotten rid of this months ago, one, because I haven't used it and now it's expired, or I'm just not fully invested in this item, which is fine. If you have items like that, go ahead and get rid of them. It's okay, don't worry. The last question I ask myself is, does it make me happy? That is a weird one, I guess, for some people. It's kind of like the Marie Kondo, does it bring you joy? It's kind of along the same lines. This for me though is for more of those items that are personal, or things that I may have an attachment to. I wouldn't go in the kitchen or in the bathroom and be like, does this toilet paper make me happy? Now some people are like, yes it does. Or in the kitchen, does this fork make me happy? Yes it does. But for me, I don't feel happiness when I look at those items. Those add value to my life. Obviously I need those, or I would like those if possible, and I use it, but it doesn't spark a feeling of happiness for me. So I'm mostly talking about personal items, or things that you kind of have to ask yourself or dig deeper to make a decision on. So when I came to this apartment, I decided I was gonna go through my mementos box or my keepsake box and really decide if these things made me happy. I used to be a huge hoarder in cards. I would keep cards because I felt obligated to, in a weird way. It was just different. So I looked at things differently when I went through them, and do these items make me happy? Does looking at this picture make me happy? Does looking at this notebook make me happy? Does looking at this card make me happy? If it didn't, I would go ahead and get rid of it. I realized that when I went into that keepsake box, I kept notes or cards that sparked something other than happiness in me, if that was frustration or that was a feeling of irritability. And I don't remember why I kept things like that. Maybe to remind myself of a situation, but then I kind of remembered, don't hold on to things like that. So a huge thing for me, especially if I go into my closet, does this top make me happy? Does it feel good on me? Does it not? If I look at an item and I feel like I am 1,000 pounds and I just don't feel beautiful in it, then I'm gonna get rid of it. People hoard things because, oh, I'm going to, that's my goal dress, that's my goal dress. I have one gold dress, and I will tell you that I am this close to getting rid of it because, one, I've had it for probably about 4 years and I've never worn it because I've never been there. So I'm constantly reminding myself that I'm not good enough, or I'm not where I want to be. I don't really want to think that way anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that is what it is. But if it doesn't make you happy, get rid of it. If it sparks any other emotion inside of you other than joy and happiness and usefulness and value and whatever else, get rid of it. It's not worth it. I promise you, you're better off without it. It's just a piece of whatever, I promise. That is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so happy to share these tips with you. If there's different questions that you ask yourself when you declutter, or if you have to go into a full-blown conversation with yourself, what do you guys say? What do you have to tell yourself in order to get rid of items, or kind of walk yourself through the process? Let me know down below. I'm definitely curious. I love to kind of understand different people's point of views and perspectives, and kind of like what they have to go through in order to declutter or whatever. I will see you guys next week with a new video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I love you all so much, and I will see you next time. Bye.